Ludicrous Feed is proudly sponsored by My Car, Tyre and Auto, Carloop, data to empower Australia's EV revolution, and Hankook, driving emotion. Hey everyone, I'm Tom, this is Joy.
Hello.
Welcome to part 2 of our Sydney to the Gold Coast road trip in the Volvo EX90 7-seater electric vehicle. We are never coming home. We are here. We love the Gold Coast. No, just kidding. We're going back in 2 days' time, but we're going to do part 2 right now. We're going to do a walk around of the car for you, and then we're going to do a return drive back to Sydney, including all the charging stops, followed by a summary of the very end. So let's get straight into it. Alrighty, so this is the Volvo EX90 Plus variant. There's also an Ultra variant as well. Twin motor, starting at 124,990 before on-road costs. Combined power output of 300 kilowatts and max torque of 770 Newton meters. 0 to 100 in 5.9 seconds. Top speed 180 kph. And electric consumption of 22 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is actually pretty accurate compared to real world stats in part 1. Battery capacity, 111 kilowatt hour battery, it's huge. It's NMC chemistry, and it's got a range of 570 kilometers WLTP rated, 2.8 tons, and towing capacity of 2.2 tons. Dimensions 5037 millimeters in length, and it's also got McPherson strut front and multi-link rear suspension. All right, let's take a walk around of the vehicle. So let's start this way. So I said before in part 1, it looks very much like the Volvo EX30's bigger cousin or bigger sibling. It's got the same design philosophy, Thor running lights, excuse all the bugs on the front here, and front camera, so 360 parking camera, very easy to park by the way. And even though it's a big car, it feels pretty nimble and agile on the road. It's a very comfy ride, of course. Suspension's reasonably well tuned, very stable. Possibly a little bit bouncy up the back, as you'd expect for the third row. 20-inch Michelin wheels here. As we come across the side, more cameras again here, and also like rear-facing cameras too on the side mirror. You can see that. And then the side mirror is very Volvo Polestar-like with the bezel-less view there. Flush door handles across the front here. And the back too, so across both windows and doors, sorry. Rear windows, speaking of, are tinted. I think second and third row, yep. Makes it for a very comfy, cozy cabin. And then the charge port here, you've seen that many times in part 1. You've actually got to press this button to release the cable too, just a side note. I think the rears might be different, yeah, so rears are 285 45. The front was 255 50, so slightly different specs in the rears. Interesting. All right, let's walk around the back. So again, this feels very familiar. Looks very much like the Volvo EX30, just obviously bigger. Same philosophy. Got the rear wiper, roof rails too, if needed.
It's a really solid looking rear wiper, isn't it?
Yeah, it's chunky. I mean, you need that for visibility, right? 3 rows.
Yeah.
Okay, and then back here, a bit nicer in the sunlight. I don't mind this colour actually.
It's a very nice sort of, I don't know what it's officially called, but
Yeah.
I call it like a sand.
Sand dune, I think it's actually called
It
sand
is
dune.
sand,
I think
there you
so. Yeah.
It's not just me being on the Gold Coast that makes me think of...
I'll double check that, but yeah, it definitely fits with the sand here. Nice. Yeah, no, it's been really comfy actually. Very thankful to Volvo Australia for the press car loan, which we've got for 2 weeks. So managed to negotiate that with the team at Volvo. So thank you very much for this. Family really enjoyed it.
And I'm just going to zoom in. It's like a metallic-y
Shimmering
paint,
yeah,
as well.
it's
yeah,
beautiful.
It's very, 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 yeah, very premium.
Yeah, I reckon it's fitting that we go into the second and third rows. We've seen a lot of the front row already in part 1. Oh, well, of course, one more thing is the Lidar box.
Am I allowed to show that?
Let's show from the side, just in case. You can see a little like.
I don't want to film that.
I call it like the taxi sign.
Yeah, I don't want to break your camera.
So apparently other YouTubers have pointed their phone cameras at this and have damaged their phones. So don't recommend pointing your phone camera at the Lidar box directly. So that's why we're taking precautions. All right, let's jump into the second and third row. So we're traveling with Joy's parents. So I think for older folk, you just got to take care with them as they climb in and out of the vehicle.
Do you want to hold this while I hop in?
Yeah.
It's probably not the most easy thing to get in and out if you don't have, you know, good mobility. Obviously, for someone like me or the kids, it would be absolutely fine.
Yep.
But yeah, just be aware it's not the most ideal way of getting in and out compared to, say, you know, like those
People movers.
airport transfer kind of
slidey door ones.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And because sometimes this can, you know, like it'll do that thing where it like folds up.
Yeah.
And that might be a bit easier, but this one,
Well,
there's two ways of doing this.
That's
so.
right. So you can actually fold this down. So let me see if I can demonstrate in a
Yep.
second. But I mean, just quickly on the third row. So we've had our daughter, who's in her teens, and my mother-in-law is Joy's mum in the back. And look, we're not a big family, like physically size-wise, but you know, they had enough leg room in the back there with these seats just a little forward.
So they're very comfortable during the actual drive.
Yep.
Obviously, it's just getting in and out,
Yes.
which is a little bit tricky, but not sort of like deal-breakingly tricky,
No.
but just something that you need to be aware of if you have people that don't have optimal
Yeah.
mobility.
Obviously, getting 6 people out of the car is just a little bit more time in and out. Go to the shops and
Yep.
restaurants.
But
and
they
whatnot.
do have, you know, creature comforts here. They've got, the
Manual
third
vents,
row does
yeah.
have air conditioning, so they're not going to be stiflingly hot or anything up the back
That's
here.
right.
And they've got,
USB-C.
Yep.
Yep.
So, you know, you'll hear no complaints from up the back because they've got their own charge port.
Cup holder,
Yep.
storage bin. So yeah,
So, yeah.
very well thought through.
Yep.
And also a little cabin light here, and I think this might be an accessory thing. Don't know what that is exactly. And then obviously the big sunroof. Like, we're traveling in winter now, and obviously we're actually wanting more light because it's winter. So we appreciate the Queensland sun, but I suppose in summer you might want to think about
And
the
I
sunshade.
think my dad in the second row was actually wearing a cap at one point because it was
okay.
actually too, the sun was shining
Yep.
too much for him. So,
What's nice is that you can actually see, you can make this headrest flush all the way down, so you're not impeding the view of the third row, which is quite nice. And obviously as a driver, you can see right through the back with this down too. So very handy. Yeah, sounds good. Otherwise, yeah, that's the third row, and legroom down here for Joy, so you can
yeah. Take. Let me sit on an actual proper seat, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not. You don't sit in the middle. It's like 1 and 2.
right. And you can
the
put
back.
your feet underneath this seat here. I know battery electric
Well,
vehicles.
do you want to put that back just so that?
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you the camera, so you can show that down there.
So you wouldn't want to be much bigger than I am, if you can see
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Like, wouldn't recommend putting anyone over
I was just saying the battery electric vehicles
165 centimeters.
battery electric vehicles have a higher floor, so like, your feet will be higher off the ground slightly, but I mean you just compromise a little bit by putting your feet under the seat.
Yep.
I'll show you how to open the seat. So I showed you before that you can have the seat sort of folding forward, but you can actually have this all the way down like this. So see that? Then you can slide this forward just a touch if you wanted. Yeah, so like that. So you can actually like an older person with who's less mobile, you can actually put their bottom here and swivel their legs around that
Do you want
way
me
as
to
well.
try
So
and demonstrate
let me show
that?
you. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just take my phone out of my pocket because I don't want to sit on my phone.
Just got to do a bit of acrobatics to
Yep.
get out. But see
But
that?
see, as a younger person, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's pop myself here, maybe hold here,
Swing
hold
your hips
here.
around. Yeah.
swing around.
So you still need a little bit of agility to get out.
You
that way.
certainly would.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
drop down.
There you
Yeah.
go. It's possible. Obviously, people movers are easier to get around. And then you can bring the seat back like that. You can either, actually this way. So lift that up. No, hang on. Yeah, so it's this way. So
Wait,
this
let me-
latch.
let me
Yeah,
show
show
that.
again.
It is labelled, isn't it? Yep.
So lift this up, and then you can slam
Our
it back like
son's
that.
gotten very good
He's
at doing this.
got it
He's
down
an
pat.
expert at getting
then-
it sorted for the third row.
And you can just flick this latch forward, and you can slide it forward like that. So that's probably an easier
Yep.
way to get out.
Just a shout out to my son who actually jumps out of the car and does both sides.
Yes, he's a very
been
good,
very helpful.
respectful grandson.
Yeah.
So 40, 20, 40 split. So that's really useful actually for a 7-seater. right, to get in and out. Otherwise, this whole thing's going to come forward in other cars I've seen, which are 7-seaters.
It is, because then you can, because if you've got, and look, chances are if you're doing a road trip with people, there's always going to be some things in the car, like whether it be like some food or snacks or whatever. So that can stay in the middle without getting completely crushed when everyone has to get out of the car. There's space to, you know, it's it's been thoughtfully designed.
I won't do this, but you can bring the 20 section forward like that, obviously. That's a nice armrest there with the drink holder, and then just slide in like that, so you can have a seventh person in the middle if you really wanted. And that's basically it. That's the second row is pretty straightforward. I'll just jump the other side as well.
As you can see, easy enough to move the chairs about, not too fiddly.
If I want to, you know, give the third row more room, then I've still got quite a bit of room here. I'll slide forward. And the second row hasn't been forgotten, so same sort of creature comforts, hooks, lights, manual air vents, USB-C charging ports down here, ×2, manual vents here, and controls for down here too. So climate control, fan, and split cabin, like split zone, and heating as well on the outboard seats.
Yeah. So the third row has air conditioning vents, but they can't control the temperature, but the second row can control their own temperature, I think, isn't it? Yes, it's independent of the first row.
Correct.
You can see it says 18 degrees in the first row, and it's 21 degrees.
It's very good. Yep. Matte pockets, sides, both sides.
Yep.
And both sound systems, so pretty good quality sound actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we gave it a solid grade A, isn't it, in our first review?
7.5 out of 10.
Yep.
8, almost 8. All right, let's go out and see the passenger side. Okay, so front passenger side, by the way, I'll just show you the door close sound. That's pretty solid. It's a nice sound. And you've got nice generous storage bins, window controls as usual, and this beautiful wood finish here, which by the way lights up at night time really nicely. You might have seen in part 1, we showed you that towards the end of the video. Nice Swedish Scandinavian design throughout as well, as you'd expect from Volvo and Polestar. And then beautiful seats as well. And then you've got this one button which rotates, and you can change whether you want to have lumbar control or change the position of the backrest. So,
and I think the seats are on the firmer side of seats that we've sat on. So that may not be to everybody's preference. I personally like everything firmer, including my steering wheel. So I quite like it, you know. Yeah,
I don't mind. It's quite supportive, actually.
Yeah. But I know that may not be for everyone. So if you don't like a sort of ultra firm seat, just be aware of that.
Yeah. So, and this is calf support too, so this can extend out manually. So just down here to start with, USB-C charge ports. Strap here to hold whatever you want, like a phone, for example. Volvo gave us a sort of a dummy phone for a phone key, which is nice of them, even though it's a press car. And then storage down here as well. But
that implies that you don't need this if this was your car, because you'd be able to use your phone as a key,
as a digital
to
key.
get in and out.
Yep. And it's got an app too, obviously. But if you do have key cards, you need to put them on this thing first, which doubles as a wireless charging port. And I think it's ventilated as well, looking at that. So that's something. Just one button here in the center, which is the volume control. And you can reset the car that way too. Press that down for 30 seconds to reboot the whole car if you run into any software issues. Drink holders, and then in there, got a dual chambered armrest storage area. So let's take my wallet out. Down here you've got a bit more storage too. So there you go, privacy area. Yep.
And it's illuminated.
Yeah, the lighting's really nice actually at the right time. Speaking of privacy screens, so this is a privacy screen as well. Oh, I think this is probably to match the outside, maybe?
I don't think this bit lit up though. Like,
no.
Yeah, the sides do. Although, you know,
we'll check it.
I should check it.
Yeah. Otherwise, let's see what's at the front here. So, usual visors that light up. Does that extend out? I can't remember. Oh, it does. Okay, so it does extend out. Nice. Oh, there's a vent here too, I just realised. Okay. Light switches here is pretty standard. Now, on Joy's side, driver's side, you've got that sort of... Volvo is known for this. They split the window controls, so you've got to press that middle button to go to the back and
Yep.
toggle back to the front again.
And so the icons are so a bit too minimalist, I think, for this type of function. I don't know whether you can see. So that's the 2 forward ones or the 2 reverse ones. I personally think it's a bit fiddly. I like having 4 buttons, but hey, it is what it is.
Yep. We'll just talk about the steering controls too. So in the Volvo EX30, it looks very similar, but they weren't as responsive, these buttons. So they fixed that in the 90. They're a lot more responsive when you press. Left side indicate and lights and wipers as well. And then gear stalk on the right with, that's how you activate the cruise control, pushing it down once. The infotainment screen is portrait orientation, so similar to the Polestar 3. In fact, this car is built on the same platform as Polestar 3. As I said in part 1, it's built on the Android automotive system, so it looks like a big Android tablet. I just made it Volvo-like, obviously, but if you use the Android system, that's what it looks, you'll be very familiar with this. And that's got the Google Maps with EV trip planning and really good trip predicting and range predicting software as well. So we were pretty happy in part 1 that it actually overestimated how much range was remaining to the point where we got to our destination with a higher battery state of charge, which is a very good thing.
That's what you want. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Better than the other way around. Apple CarPlay, of course, is standard, and this is.
And it didn't overestimate to the point that you had like an additional charging stop, but it's just it overestimated so that you are comfortable enough to reach your destination.
Yep. So in part 1 you saw mostly 22s, maybe 23 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, same as the specs basically. We've been stop starting a lot in Gold Coast, and so it's a bit higher consumption, which is fine. You're in town, you've got chargers around.
Honestly, I think that might just be us just sitting here now as well, just using up the air conditioning.
Possibly. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, it's very much like Polestars that we reviewed, so I won't go through them too much, except for maybe energy, where, let's see if I can find the settings. Where is it? Hopefully you can see this with the fingerprints. Charging, okay, I'm going to show the charging. So, there you go. It's an NFC battery, so daily drive recommended 90%, long trips, like what we're doing, is 100%. And then smart scheduling, you can add like time of charge, pretty straightforward with the graphics there. What time of day you want to start and stop the charge, and then you can change the current limit too. All right, well, that's pretty much it, I think. Well, that's pretty straightforward with ADAS. You can play with that yourself, and then sound system was quite good, like we said as well. All right, is there a glove box? I think there is.
There is.
Yes, you gotta find the button for it. There's a glove box. There you go. Stick my hand in there. Okay, well that's it for the walk around. Like I said, we will do the part 2 of the return trip back to Sydney in a couple of days' time, so keep watching. Morning everyone, we are heading back to Sydney this morning. Let's have a look at the boot. And that is the size of the boot with the 3rd row up. Bit of netting here, 12-volt plug. Put the seats down that way as well. And an LED light on this side. And there's also a subfloor area here. So I brought my Type 2 cable. There's a 10 amp charger in there that came with the press car. So we can put a bag in there as well. Alright, so that is the front or the bonnet storage of the car with the extra large wiper fluid with the funnel. Pretty handy. And that's what the boot looks like with all the bags in. Alright, let's head off on our way. Right, so we're starting the journey with 97% state of charge. It's funny, I parked the car last night with 99%, so there must have been 2% phantom drain. And it is now 7:15 AM, so pretty early start. Back to home in Sydney, and let's have a look at the 2 charging stops it recommends. So Tesla Supercharger in Mooney Beach, which is where we stopped at on the way up, and it's telling us to go to Chargefox. All right, let's get going. 9 hours 44 with 2 charging stops, and that includes charging time as well. So 3 hours 7 minutes for our first leg, 299 kilometers and 29% estimated arrival state of charge. So let's see how the car goes. And let's have a look at the consumption so far. So 22 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers since last reset about 836 kilometers ago. Okay, so we're about an hour into the journey now, and you can see the trip computer is actually, again, overestimating how much range we need. So it's gone up to 31% predicted. I was going to come on and tell you that it's a reasonably stable ride. And I was going to come and tell you that the auto lane change is pretty good. And I was going to come and tell you that with less wind on the freeway, it's quite a stable ride for us. But unfortunately, the cruise control has packed it in. So you can see here on the display on the instrument cluster screen, a lot of yellows, right? Yellow warnings. This means that something has happened. So the lane keeping and auto steer component, and even the adaptive cruise control system has just given up. And I would have forgiven it if it's just a one-off, but unfortunately, it's happened quite a few times now. Happened to Joy as well on part one, driving down. We thought it was just a one-off, so we didn't mention it, but it's happened now on the highway twice, and it happened a lot in the Gold Coast as well. So I have to say, unfortunately, the software can be quite unstable, which is a shame. It does work quite well when it does work.
When it does work. I tell you what, you really miss it when it goes away, because, I mean, for me it wasn't too bad because I think we had like about an hour and a bit left, but driving manually for an hour really brought me back to what road trips used to be like. And yeah, it's actually a lot harder on the body because suddenly you have to be in a fixed position all the time. Suddenly your foot is constantly on the accelerator and moving. And I mean, the steering wheel part is not too bad because I always have my hands on the steering wheel anyway, so that bit didn't really bother me. But yeah, having to accelerate all the time and not having any regen braking pretty much whatsoever. So yeah, I felt I was in LICO mode, lift and coast the whole time.
Yeah, not just physically, but mentally as well, because now I have to like try to keep the speed close to 110 as much as possible. Whereas obviously with adaptive cruise control, it'll just do that for you.
Yeah. So. And then it just becomes, then you just think, okay, well, do we, pull over somewhere safely or at a rest stop, reset the car, go again, or do we just keep driving? Yeah. So that becomes the question.
Good point. I should note, you can just hold this button here, down here, this play button down here, hold it for like 30 seconds, it'll reboot the car. It should come back.
That fixed it last time.
Yeah, it does fix it. But I'm not going to do that, every time it gives up. So unfortunately, that has happened a few times, to the point where we had to say something, otherwise Volvo won't know this is happening. So hopefully they'll fix it with a software update. Because it's, as Joy said, it's physically and mentally demanding. Now I've got to lift and coast and keep it to 110 as much as possible.
Like I said, to happen 1 hour out, it wasn't too bad for me, but yours happened about...
We're 2 hours out.
Yeah, and I think it happened even earlier than that, right? We were like 2.5 hours to go, and then it decided it just didn't want to work anymore, so good luck to you.
Yeah, I'll tell you how I feel in 2 hours' time. Let me just show you the trip computer real quick. How are we doing here? So yeah, still about 22, 23, so same as part one for now. Okay, we'll see you guys at Mooney Beach. Okay, so we are 16 minutes out from our first charging stop at Mooney Beach. And apart from the subjective disadvantage of making me feel more fatigued, both mentally and physically, if you've ever wondered whether cruise control makes a difference, yes, it definitely does. If you look at the predicted arrival state of charge, it's now back to 29%. It was as high as 32. Don't forget, when we left for the Gold Coast, it was 29, so it's actually gone up and then gone back down to what it was. And that's because I'm not a robot. I'm a human, so my driving is more volatile. I'm trying to keep...
There are police reported ahead.
Oh, that's handy. Trying to keep my speed, obviously. This is where cruise control is good as well, to keep the speed for things like police radar. Yeah, so let's have a look at the trip computer. So there you go, it's actually gone up to 25. That is the difference not having cruise control makes. Whereas it was around 22, 23. But now that I'm driving manually, efficiency has suffered as a result. So there you go. Adaptive cruise control is important in modern driving, especially for an EV where efficiency is important. Alright, so we have arrived here at Mooney Beach. We're going to stop for coffee and breakfast, And it says here, welcome to Tesla Supercharger. Charge to at least 90% to get to the next stop, which is Chargefox in Colorado. We'll see how we go. All right, let's charge up. All right, so it is charging up. Getting a pretty good rate as well.
Yes,
At a
and
low state of charge.
well done to Thomas for driving without any not without any GPS, without any cruise control.
I know, it's been interesting. And look, it's 28%, so it's actually for the first time less than what the computer predicted, and that is the effect of the lack of adaptive cruise control. So that is so important, isn't it? 25 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, that was our efficiency. Very interesting. And that is the Tesla app right there. 218 kilowatts, the car's getting 220, interesting. That's a bit of a lag, I guess, to the app, but yeah, good rate. All right, toilet break, coffee, etc.
Well-deserved coffee for you.
Can't wait, let's do it. Okay, so the car is recharged and so are the people, and it's now 97% state of charge, and it is now 11 o'clock. Let's have a look at our next destination. So it says to charge to at least 90, which we did, and next one is 3.5 hours away, so we might stop halfway just for a little stretch of the legs. It's quite a long drive otherwise. We'll get there at 19%. And looks like the car has reset itself in terms of the cruise control, so hopefully Joy will have a better experience on the highway. So she's going to take us for the next leg. Let's go. Alright, so Joy is driving and the cruise control unfortunately has not come back despite us rebooting the car. So she's been driving about an hour without it. And efficiency, shit, time for a break. Well, we would if the
I think that was just you
worked.
bringing the thing over, I think.
Oh, sorry.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
No, because of that, and then I flinched and I slightly crossed the lane, and then so it's like, yep.
Yeah, so let's have a look at her efficiency. So she's doing slightly better than me. She's 24 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers. I was about 25 without cruise control. And just for anyone who's wondering whether there's any other factors causing this discrepancy, no, the elevation is very similar between all the towns. So Mooney Beach is like 30 meters above sea level. Broad Beach in the Gold Coast is obviously very similar to sea level. And where we're going to charge in Korua, either Korua or Raymond Terrace, they're about 6 to 10 meters above sea level. So the difference is negligible. So I think you can safely say the increase in efficiency, the worsening of efficiency is due to lack of cruise control, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely feel it because it's like every time we go up a little bit, we have to accelerate. And then every time it goes down a hill, I have to actually physically press the brake. Otherwise, I'll be going at like 120 or something. So it definitely changes the way we both have to drive.
Yep. All right. Touch base when we charge next. Okay, so slight change of plan. We're actually here at Port Macquarie Service Centre. We've got 60% state of charge, but we figured we might as well plug in and have a longer lunch here, since it's pretty much lunchtime, and then we don't have to charge later on, except for toilet stops, but we don't have to charge back at Raymond Terrace or anything, or Taree. So we'll give this a try. I know it's only 60%, and some people will say, well, you shouldn't be charging that high, but it's a different strategy, and we'll see whether we can get all the way from here to Sydney with one charge.
And it's a super busy intersection here where the chargers are,
Yeah.
which is why I had my hazards on, just so that people know what's going on.
Yep.
Because, yeah, otherwise it's just really confusing.
Yeah, all right. Let's top up. Okay, so this is a Chargefox NRMA charger, so I might get Joy to charge up. Let's see how this works.
Wondering whether it's worth reading the instructions or no.
Okay, so let's see. What does that say? Keep your RFID card or tag in front of the reader, which is what this is, Chargefox. Ooh, that's good noise. You are allowed to start charging.
That's good to know.
Oh, big click. Big click. It's like the old PCs, right, with the noises. Wait for the startup noises. That's what we rely on as early adopters. Whirring. Handshake noises. This is clicking. I'm getting 1990s flashbacks.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good sign. Still a bit of glare. Hopefully you can see that on the screen, but it's good to know it is topping up there at 79. I think this is 180 kilowatts. There's a couple over there as well. I'm glad they replaced these with these type of chargers rather than the old tritium ones. Hopefully these are more reliable over time. Okay, it's saying 80 kilowatts. It's not super quick, but that's all right. We need to have lunch anyway, so we might pop over to one of the family restaurants to have some lunch. Quite a few options here. There's a Guzman over there as well. Let's see what the car says. Inside the vehicle, it's saying 80 kilowatts, 35 minutes left to 96%, which is I think what the nav is saying. Let's see. Welcome to Chargefox charging station at Thrumster. Charge to at least 96 to get to our destination, which is home in Sydney, with 13%. 4 hours worth of driving after this. So I don't mind doing this strategy. Like I said, higher state of charge, which is fine. At least we can have a longer lunch here, so let's do that.
We are experiencing heavier than expected.
Alright, so that's the reality of EV charging at the moment in Australia. It happens. I'm just going to hold my breath, bite my tongue. Not quite ready yet for prime time if this kind of stuff is happening, unfortunately. But I've got to be real, right? That's the reality so far. So I did call Chargefox to their credit. They were very responsive. A little bit of a wait time, 1 to 2 minute hold, but the lady on the phone kindly said we are going to reset the machine remotely. So we'll see whether it is a quick restart. It's a shame. If this doesn't work, we might have to reassess our plans and keep driving after our lunch and charge again at a more reliable charger. So we'll see. Fingers crossed we can at least get a bit more charge while we're having lunch, so we're at least a bit more time neutral. Oh, hang on, here we go. Charger not available, out of water. All right, let's keep waiting. She did say this might happen, so we'll just keep waiting for a bit. Okay, good sign. Looks like the reset did help. There you go. Keep your RFID card in front of the reader. All right, I think we're good. Let's plug in. All right, hopefully this works. Handshaking. Okay, we're back in business. There we go. 82 kilowatts. And car confirming that it's working as well. So hopefully it won't turn off again. All right, back to lunch. Okay, so unfortunately, after 5 minutes, the charger decided to break again. So I'm not going to call Chargefox. Obviously, there's a problem with the wiring or the power supply or whatever it is. That's all right. Luckily, we've got enough charge, 80%. We started the journey yet. So we're going to top up at Raymond Terrace. Tesla's far more reliable with their chargers. And stop there for another little break before we drive back to Sydney. So Joy, once again, is taking command of the car.
Yep. But again, it's why, you know, if you're not getting a Tesla, like you really need, if you're going to be going on road trips, I feel like it'll just be so much less of a headache if you get a car that can charge at a Tesla Supercharger. Like, it's really not worth the stress if you have to do road trips.
And that includes the X-Pen, unfortunately, which is the one we've got at the moment.
Adds a layer of uncertainty and irritation and having to change your plans.
Yep. We're happy to call out X-Pen that it's still not compatible yet with Superchargers, unfortunately. So yeah, road tripping with Tesla, the Tesla network is far more comfortable, far more predictable. Speaking of cruise control, it's still not back yet in the Volvo. It's still showing an error. So Joy's going to have to use her foot and her wits to drive us safely at the speed limit as much as she can. Obviously Joy's a more stable driver than I am, 23 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers. So it is stabilizing without cruise control. Okay, last charging stop of the day. Here we are at Raymond Terrace. There's some shops there, and we are at 32% state of charge. So it's good. We'll just top up a little bit before we drive back for the final leg to Sydney. Thank you, Joy, for doing that. Great job. Yay.
No cruise control.
No coffee.
Yep.
Alright, let's plug in. We won't charge too much. We are good. Alright, reliable, fast. Tesla Superchargers. Alright, let's go to the bathroom. Look how fast it's going. It's very reassuring. Yep, I don't think we'll be here very long at all. Okay, 15 minutes was all that was required to get to 65%, and we're driving back home, and it's 2 hours 20, 24% arrival. Get back home at 6:30. Perfect. Okay, we are back. Welcome to Sydney, it says. So there we go. We are pretty much almost home. Another half an hour to go. So this pretty much ends the drive part of this video. We're down to 36% state of charge. So I guess from here you can just add another whatever 5 to 10% to anywhere else in Sydney, wherever you might be going to. And let's check the final trip stats. There we go. Look at that difference. Given that we now have cruise control back. See, that's now 23 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So that's the kind of difference you could expect with a more efficient style of driving, i.e. cruise control. Amazing, isn't it? All right, that's it. Sign off here, and we'll give our summary of the video very shortly. So stay tuned, everyone. All right, everyone, time to do our summary. And before we do that, what do you think that is? This little dent in the chrome trim there. What do you reckon? Joy, I think you told me what that was earlier.
Well, I think finally when the light caught it at the right angle, I realised it's the Swedish flag.
I think you're probably right.
Yep.
It makes sense. Volvo, Swedish. All right, well, let's do our summary of the vehicle. So we've had a bit of time to digest after our road trip to the Gold Coast and back. And before I forget, I just want to thank Volvo Australia for a 2-week loan of this vehicle. So very much appreciated. You get to know the car pretty well after 2 weeks. So thanks again to Volvo. Okay, so as usual, we will do our usual wrap up of this car. So large SUV with occasional 7-seater functionality. Seems like a pretty versatile car.
Yep. So I think if you like a bigger space, so the sort of standard size, mid-size SUV, I guess it's more like a compact SUV, even, isn't it? Even for something like the Model Y or the G6, is that still considered compact?
Yeah, I mean,
SUV?
they call it a crossover SUV, right? So it's not like a full big SUV like this, but it's not quite a sedan, so it's kind of the
So this
halfway.
is more the size that I remember as a kid from the 90s with the big, was it like the Nissan? Like what was the name of that
Pathfinder?
one? Yeah. So that kind of like
Mitsubishi Pajero.
big, yes, that
ones.
sort of like big family car. And I think this fits that role of that big family car. And I think sort of like scenarios I was sort of thinking in my head is like on the weekend, and you're doing the it might be like your team sport, and then if you've got to have some extra kids in the back with you, you can pop those 2 seats up, and you've got room also for all the equipment and all of that as well. So it's like maybe it's during the week it's like the family car, but on the weekend you can give, or actually even during the week, to like training and all that, you can bring half the team with you, and be one of the parents that like are ferrying the kids around.
Those
and doing
awesome parents.
and the carpools, right? Like this is
Yeah.
like the carpooling car. Because you can, and there's lots of space for the bags and the equipment and the everything.
Or occasionally bring the grandparents out for a treat, right?
Yes.
If you've got a family of 4 or 5 and then you want to bring the grandparents or whoever, or
Yeah,
cousins.
and that's the thing, because I know people are going to say, oh, well, for the price you can buy 2 cars, right? But do you have 2 drivers? Like maybe not every family has got 2 drivers. So in that situation, you have this kind of car where you can fit everybody, like the extended family, the multiple generations, and you only have to have 1 driver. You don't have to worry about having 2 drivers, 2 parking spots, all that sort of thing.
And it's fun to pack that many people in all at once just for a short trip, right? Just to have a bit of fun. And I think for a long road trip like what we did, we're not big people, and the people that sat in the 3rd row, i.e. my mother-in-law, Joy's mum, and our teenage daughter, they're not big, so it was pretty easy for them to feel comfortable in the back.
And the dynamic is different. Like the time actually kind of passes faster when there's sort of like more people in the car. It's less boring.
Yeah, and we didn't bring much luggage either because the weather was good, so didn't do pack suitcases.
Back on the luggage, what's nice, because I always feel with a 7-seater, it's like you either choose people or luggage. You can't have both. But I did find with this one, you could put stuff in the front, and then with the boot, you could put stuff underneath. So it actually meant that you could actually fit quite a bit of, luggage for 6 people.
Yeah.
Really,
good.
we didn't have 7 people, we had 6 people.
No,
but-
the storage was actually quite reasonable for a
and there's like,
seven-seater.
what do you call those roof rails,
Oh,
isn't it?
yes.
So you could add stuff on top as
Yeah.
well if you wanted to.
That's right. Yeah, so I think for an occasional 7-seater is pretty good for a big car. I guess if you want to use a car for a big family that you really need a 7-seater all the time, then maybe you need to look at something else in the market, like an actual people mover in the ICE segment, like the Carnival, or even the Zeekr 009 that's on the market currently. Not too many EV 7-seaters, but hopefully they'll come in
The
time.
ones that I call the airport transfer vehicle.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this feels, as we said on the drive, it feels like quite a nimble, agile vehicle for a car this size. This car is like over 5 meters long, but it felt like a mid-size SUV still. So to its credit, it's quite nimble because of the fact that the wheelbase is actually quite small or reasonable for this size car. If you compare this to the Kia EV9, which is actually a smaller car in terms of physical length, the Kia EV9 has a longer wheelbase, which means that the turning circle is wider. So that's why this car, for me, when I drove it, felt quite nimble, quite agile compared to the EV9.
And I mean, I did not a lot of shopping centre car parks, but when we were on the drive, I was having to go through car parks in this car, and I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. It was, like I think I've said in the other videos, like it felt like I was just driving like a normal size car. It didn't feel like I was driving a 7-seater. So.
And I've had the Kia EV9, and I've got to park in a lot of hospital car parks for my work, and I'm always really scared of parking the EV9 with those really tight turns in the hospital car parks.
Or like the ramps, isn't it? The ramps
it's frightening.
in multi-story cars.
Whereas this car was fine. I had no problems. It felt really agile. So I think it's due to the fact that it's got a shorter wheelbase, which is great. So I guess we should talk about the comparison between this car and the Kia EV9, which again is kind of like an occasional 7-seater. It's more like a big SUV really, because it's not quite a people mover. I feel that the EV9 just marginally felt it had a bit more space and probably easier to get into the third row. We've given lifts to our kids' our kids' friends before in the third row.
Could it do that thing where the whole seat, I can't remember.
Yeah, the thing that the Kia EV9, the second row is 60-40 from memory. So it doesn't have this 40, 20, 40
so
split.
there's more space. So
yeah. But I felt the EV9 was easy to get in and out of.
That one felt, and with, as you said, we had our kids' friends in the car. It was almost like an excursion vehicle, isn't it? It felt very fun. It was, very fun. Yeah. I mean, this one's fun too, but in a different way. That one, it's almost like the party car. The other one had that,
But this car is definitely more premium. Let's face it. Volvo, Swedish, Scandinavian design. It just feels very nice on the inside. So I think that's what you're paying the premium for over the EV9. And also the EV9's got different variants under that price. So the price of this car, and we're in the base Volvo EX90. For that money, you can get the top spec GT line Kia EV9. So if you wanted to go down in the Kia, you can. It starts at 97, whereas this car starts at 124. This car we're in, this variant we're in. So yeah, there are options there for you. If you want the premium car, then this is what you go for, the Volvo. But yeah, otherwise it's a pretty comfortable drive. For me, it feels like the Polestar 3, obviously having the same platform. It's got the same vertical screen. The only thing is, I guess, the software felt a bit flaky during the drive. The cruise control will cut in and out, as we saw, and just
cut out.
Just cut out.
And so you're stuck driving for 2 hours without any cruise control or lane keeping. Small
things like the CarPlay, occasionally the map will take its time to load. So just small little things like that, which I think Volvo could probably tidy up.
And there was never an issue with like Kia software. It's like, rock solid in the tech.
So just minor things that you should be aware of before you buy this vehicle. But otherwise, again, beautiful car to drive. If you want the luxury Scandinavian feel, I think Volvo EX90 has nailed that very well.
And it's a good looking car. Like sometimes, 7-seaters look a bit,
unwieldy,
a bit overly functional, isn't it? I guess that's probably the way to describe it. But this doesn't, from the outside, it doesn't look, you don't sort of immediately peg it in the supermarket as, okay, there's going to be like, 7 people jumping out of that car. And then people get surprised, like, oh, there's more people coming out of the car. So yeah, it's a good looking car that can, that has that versatility of being able to have, more people or more things in the back, and really agile. Like, it doesn't lose the agility at all.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right, well, that's it from us, I think. Anything else you want to add apart from that?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's but yeah, lovely finish on the inside as
Yeah.
well. So once people are in the car, they'll be very comfortable and happy.
It feels very luxurious for sure. So once again, thank you to Volvo Australia for the opportunity to review this car and to take it to the Gold Coast and back for you guys. Until the next Ludicrous Feed video from Joy and myself, it's happy charging from the Volvo EX90.